Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a controversial and intriguing topic, 8 of history's worst U.S. presidents. These leaders are remembered not for their triumphs, but for their failures, scandals, and missteps that left lasting impacts on the nation. From disastrous policies and corruption to poor leadership in times of crisis, these presidents have earned their spots on this infamous list. We'll explore the stories behind their presidencies, uncovering the decisions that led to their downfalls and the repercussions felt by the American people. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Now, let's delve into the stories of the worst U.S. presidents in history. 1. James Buchanan. Buchanan rejected slavery as an evil, but like the majority of his party, he refused to challenge it in any way. He essentially adopted a laissez-faire attitude toward slavery, believing it would somehow go away on its own. Though he was from the northern state of Pennsylvania, Buchanan often sided with Southerners on the slavery issue and earned the nickname Doughface, a term for northern politicians with Southern sympathies. He was in support of multiple compromises that made it possible for slavery to spread into the western territories acquired by the Louisiana Purchase and the Mexican War. Buchanan argued that the Constitution did not provide him the authority to take action against would-be seceders, so he chose to sit on his hands while the situation deteriorated. 2. Andrew Johnson. Assuming the presidency right after Lincoln's assassination, Johnson fought Congress over various Reconstruction measures that exposed his political ineptitude and remarkable indifference toward the struggles of newly freed African Americans. He vetoed the renewal of the Freedmen's Bureau and the first Civil Rights Bill, and he also encouraged opposition to the 14th Amendment, an escalating and bitter power struggle during which Congress improperly tried to strip him of certain constitutionally granted powers, led to the first presidential impeachment and an almost conviction. After failing to secure renomination, he returned to Tennessee and was re-elected to the U.S. Senate. 3. Franklin Pierce. A veteran of the Mexican War, Pierce was a full-hearted believer in manifest destiny, national expansion even at the cost of adding more slave states. Pierce supported the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, which allowed territories to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery, effectively repealing the Missouri Compromise. This act intensified national tensions over slavery, leading to violent conflicts in Kansas and further polarizing the North and South. He even proposed to annex Cuba, but his plan was believed to only be an attempt to add another slave state. 4. Warren G. Harding. Harding summed up his presidency better than anyone else could, saying, "I am not fit for this office and should never have been here." When he first moved into the White House, the 29th president occupied himself with golf, poker, and his mistress. As far as actually acting as president, Harding stood back and let his more experienced cabinet secretaries set the agenda, which included tax cuts for the wealthy, opposition to organized labor, and opening foreign markets to the tycoons leading America's richest banks. 5. William Henry Harrison. Harrison's inauguration speech was the longest of any president. He caught pneumonia while giving the speech and died 30 days, serving the shortest term as president in the United States history. Harrison's presidency was marked by organizational chaos. At the time, it was common for job seekers to simply show up at the White House and ask for a meeting with the chief executive, and they did. In one letter, Harrison complained, "I am so much harassed by the multitude that calls upon me that I can give no proper attention to any business of my own." He did not do anything of particular interest during his quick presidency. 6. John Tyler. William Henry Harrison's vice president, Tyler ran as a Whig, but went against everything the party stood for once he became president. Tyler was charged by a fellow Whig for recreating the condemned and repudiated doctrines and practices of the worst days of Jackson's rule. After the whole Harrison-appointed government resigned, Tyler had to resist an impeachment effort. His one achievement was creating the rule that a vice president who ascends to the presidency has the same authority as a president who is elected. No small feat considering how loathed he was by the majority of his own party. 7. Herbert Hoover. Hoover's administration began when Wall Street was still riding high in the roaring 20s and ended at the lowest point of the Great Depression. Hoover's policies, which argued for a hands-off approach to stabilizing the economy, didn't help matters. Banks failed. Millions of Americans lost their savings, jobs, and homes, and the newly unhoused set up sprawling encampments called Hoovervilles in the largest cities. Voters enthusiastically supported Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal proposals, the opposite of Hoover's free market ideas, in the 1932 presidential election. 8. Millard Fillmore. Fillmore was the vice president of Zachary Taylor, a well-liked military hero who passed away in office just over a year after taking office. Vice President Taylor was generally disregarded until he informed Taylor that, in the event of a deadlock in the Senate, he would support the Compromise of 1850. The Compromise represented everything Taylor opposed and was made up of 5 different acts, including the Fugitive Slave Law, which required the federal government to restore fugitive slaves to their owners. After the ill president passed away, his successor fought even harder for the compromise proposals. Although Fillmore's initiatives may have prevented a national emergency and delayed the start of the Civil War, peace was ultimately paid for at an unacceptable price. And might Oswald chuck in a cheeky bonus for you lovely people? Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon. And there you have it, our exploration of 8 of history's worst U.S. presidents. Each of these leaders left a controversial mark on the nation's history, serving as reminders of the complexities and challenges of leadership. From scandals and corruption to poor decisions and failed policies, their legacies teach us valuable lessons about accountability, integrity, and the importance of informed leadership. History is a mirror reflecting both our triumphs and our failures. By studying the past, we can strive to build a better future, learning from the mistakes of those who came before us. As we move forward, let's remember that even in times of great challenge, there is always the opportunity for growth, progress, and change. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. We hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more historical explorations. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.